It's been 65 days since we've been stuck here on quarantine. How you doing with that? Well, if you need some coping strategies, we have that for you today. Also, a real cool way to have some fun while you're stuck in the house today on the BuzzFeed.
COVID-19, school cancellation, and self-care. Let's take a look at some steps we can take as families to help the children and everyone in the home deal with trauma. Some of the steps include parents remaining calm. Let's pay attention, parents, to what we say or do. If we say something and fly off the handle, we can set our children off. So we want to pay close attention to that. And when we answer questions, we want to be direct but calm at the same time. And also, when we give facts to people in the home, we want to do it according to appropriate to their developmental stages. The younger the child, we give them facts, but not too much. And for those who are always anxious or have a hard time dealing with changes, we give them some information, but not too much, because we want to keep their anxiety levels down. We want to spend quality time together as a family, and I have a really cool idea for you later on in the video, so stay tuned. Also, we want to shift the expectations that we have, especially when our children are scared and feeling some kind of way. When it comes to routines, we want to keep those in place. We want to stick to a regular schedule. Print it out. Friends, you have no idea. I have 3 kids. They have 10 different teachers and 6 different online platforms. It is a nightmare, but in order to keep track of it, we got to print that thing out. And kids, we want them to go to bed at a regular time. Start providing some consistency and some structure, especially for the younger kids, and they'll benefit from that.
Last week, we saw Principal Brown give us a tip on how to get out of bed. Now, we've noticed around the nation that some people are still sleeping in bed while they turn on their Zoom. That's not healthy. Anyway, moving on. The next coping strategy is to be creative. Think of ways where you can have fun while you're in the house. Have a dance party with you and your family. Or how about a family game night? We ordered this game called Cornhole. Cornhole. I'm not going to say that name again because I don't like the name. It's a bit suspect, but the game is super fun. But if you don't want to play that game, try this.
One of the things that we did was to turn our house into a board game. One of the most fun things I've ever seen happen. My kids did this. It was super fun. Take a look at the little hamburger. That's our pieces. We put toys as our pieces, got a teddy bear. It was crazy fun. One of the little pitfalls, instead of going back to go, we called it Bye Felicia, and the person had to go back to start. Super funny. Another one was you lose a turn if you landed on this one spot, and you had to sit on the toilet, and everyone laughed at you the whole time. It was incredible. But make sure someone cleans the toilet before you sit down. You don't need any tinkle in your way. Also, managing our anxiety. Our last point that we're going to go over is completely known to be anxious during these times. Also, seeing the news can bring up more anxiety. But we want to manage that because it could impact everyone else in the home. We want to watch out for catastrophic thinking. Thinking every time someone sneezes or coughs, something else happens, they're infected. That's not the case. Remember, folks, it's now springtime, so there's pollen out there. Allergies are going to start kicking up. It's not necessarily COVID. Also, when we feel anxious, we want to try to avoid talking about our concerns around, especially little children. Little children can get overwhelmed. Other people who may be already anxious about something, they could be overwhelmed as well, because we want to prevent something. We want to manage our anxiety to prevent our children from going overboard. They can get too much information and completely lose their mind, get off task, and not do their work. We want to prevent that. Also, for parents and guardians, we don't want to become COVID commandos. Every time somebody sneezes, coughs, even breaks wind, we don't want to go behind them and spray them up. We want to do our best to stay calm as much as possible.
As we close, I'd like to give a shout out to 2 seniors. One is Jorge Aguilar. Last week, we said he was going to go to Arizona State, but he isn't. He actually received an academic scholarship to Pacific Boxer University. It's up in Oregon. Jorge, it rains a lot up there, so bring your galoshes. And folks, again, we have an Aztec in the house. We have Miss Amani James. She's going to receive a scholarship to SDSU. Now let me leave you with a question. What kind of competitor sees the finish line and stops? None. Not one. So with that said, there's only 4 weeks left. The finish line is almost there. You can just see it. Those of you who are doing your work, please continue that. But for those who are coming to the Zoom, but you're not doing your assignments, think about it. You're almost there. Finish strong, do your assignments, and we'll see you next week.